So greetings from Pennsylvania once again, and welcome back to another video. We are still out here in Rothrock State Forest, more specifically Penn Roosevelt State Park. This is where I camped last night with a bunch of other YouTubers, Instagrammers, and friends. Made some new friends last night, met some new people. Also been camping here tonight as well. As of now, people have kind of split off and are doing their own thing for the day. But we're going to stay here at Penn Roosevelt State Park, at least for the time. We filmed a CCC camp yesterday, the Owl Gap Camp, and there's one here at Penn Roosevelt. Well, there was one here at Penn Roosevelt State Park, Camp S-62, also known as Stone Creek Kettle Camp. Interesting history about this one. I did film here many years ago, maybe only back in 2018. But we're going to check it out again as part of this new series I'm doing on Pennsylvania CCC camps. Hopefully this battery lasts. I'm down to 2 bars. I had a spare battery with me, only to realize that it's even has less charge than this one does. But I have that one charging up back at camp, so we should be okay. A bit chilly today. It was definitely cold last night. But I was able to stay warm enough. Yeah, so the campground is back. Hey, look at that beautiful scenery. Anyway, the campground is back that way around the bend. Pretty sure I'm heading in the right direction here. But yeah, there's, as with the camp that we did yesterday, Camp S-60, Owl's Gap, they helped build Whipple Dam State Park. The boys here at this CCC camp helped build Penn Roosevelt State Park. The dam here. It's actually a cool old ruins of a bake oven. Oh yeah, right there's a trail, a bake oven trail. We will go up there in a bit. That is a cool site up there. Yeah, right there's bake oven trail. There's some other ruins back there too we'll check out. But then down this way are some other ruins that are quite visible. They have some information boards. And I think there's some more ruins up there. Try to remember from years ago when I've been here. There's also some not so pleasant history about this CCC camp. Again, remember this was back in the 30s, early 40s, when everything was still segregated. So this is, depending on the research, we were talking about this a little bit last night. I read somewhere that there are only 12 segregated or colored camps in Pennsylvania. Someone had read that there's 17 of them, or were 17 of them. So these camps were segregated by skin color. But, you know, to be honest, that is the way they did, not justifying it, but that is the way they did things back then. But this was roughly one of 12 segregated camps here in Pennsylvania. There goes Camping Milkman. He's going to organize this camping trip today. Yeah, so here's one of the chimneys. 361st company of the CCC, Camp S-62-PA. They have some information up here. So I forget, I think this chimney was this for the rec hall or the mess hall? It's one of those things. Yeah, they have the official sign. Some general information about the CCC. There's some information missing here. I'll talk about that in a moment. I know I mentioned that last time I was here. I thought there was another chimney down this way. I know there's some up that road in a little bit. Yeah. Site of Penn Roosevelt Camp. Yeah, another website calls it the Stone Kettle Camp. Or Stone Creek Kettle. This is 1933 to 1935. Some sites say it goes up to 1941. That's the thing with research. They all say different things. But yeah. I think these might be the same pictures that we saw yesterday at that. Or I forget what place it was. Yeah, Whipple Dam has this same information board. It talks about when the CCC was made. During the Great Depression, Franklin Roosevelt. Talks about how many young men came to camps hungry and poorly clothed. We talked about that in many other videos. They were given clothes, 3 meals a day. Many of them gained like 40 pounds. How much they earned, $30 a month. $30 a month, which most of it went to their families. Talks about what they did. Obviously you can pause the video read more. I always like to look at the pictures though. Most of these were, 18 to 25-year-old young men. The old machinery. There they are eating. But yeah. And then this information board is empty. I feel like last time there was some information here, but not at the moment. But the information that's missing here, I think, is the fact that this was a segregated camp. I mean, like I said, history isn't always pleasant, but it's important, and we learn from the past. So I think it's important for people to know that camps like this existed as well. It's just an opportunity to educate people. I remember seeing a sign at Gettysburg, I forget how it said, talking about how history isn't always the greatest thing in the world, but it's still history, and you shouldn't hide history or cover it up. We learn from history. So, and my camera's now down to 1 bar. Okay. We should be okay for now, though. So yeah, we'll explore the dam down there. We'll go explore the bake oven, but let's go up this one side road. I think there's more old chimneys up there from some of the buildings. They had their barracks up here too, where they slept in. Yeah, the dam is down that way. Up here's one of the pavilions. If I remember correctly, I see a sign up there. I think the barracks were up this way. Might be some new signage here, it looks like. But we're gonna head up this trail right here. I'm trying to remember if the pavilion was here when I was here last time. They have a sign up there for the CCC. I feel like years ago it was just the fireplace, the chimney stack that was here. Yeah, I think so. I think they rebuilt this because it's now on the typical looking CCC style, the big logs, but they have it on newer concrete bases and gravel in here. But I think, pretty sure the chimney, the fireplace back here is original. I just remember this when I was here last time. Cool. Yeah, a lot of new construction, yeah. We might actually be hanging out here tonight by this fireplace. Last night for camping, we hung out in Teddy's campsite around the fire. There'll be more of us tonight probably. It's probably gonna rain tonight, maybe a light rain, so we were talking about coming up here under the pavilion, having a fire back there and hanging out and having supper up here. Going back to the CCC days, so that'll be cool. Yeah, but I'm glad they rebuilt it. Like I said, I'm pretty sure they rebuilt it. I don't remember the pavilion being here last time, just the fireplace. And I thought there was another one up here somewhere. Let's take a walk up this way next. See trails going off here and there. Yeah, this is a sign I saw from below. It's not CCC related. This is the organized group tent camping area. Like I said, somewhere up here were the barracks. The men slept in like those low, long buildings full of bunks. I believe there were some. Oh, there was a map. Oh, that's right. Years ago, I did look. There was a map online. But when I was here years ago, I remember not being able to find many other foundations anyway, even with the map. Most of those stuff are gone. That's like maybe that's CCC built like a channel for water. Looks like here's an old path going this way, lined with trees on either side. Oh yeah, it is, because it's lined with stone. You can see that down there. The camp we did yesterday had the same feature. A lot of them do. They lined their paths with stones. So this is an old CCC path going through here. I believe this open field here may have been where some of the buildings were too. Perfect place to have some of those barracks. Oh, someone biking over there. Alright. Even some old stonework along the edge here. Not sure what these buildings up here are, but anyway. Alright. Let's start making our way back down towards where the bake oven is. That's probably the coolest thing here. CCC related. Oh, we gotta check out the dam too. So let's go check out the dam and then the bake oven ruins. Well, I should mention too, I talked about sports before in this series, how these CCC camps, it wasn't just about, you know, learning a new trade. They were educated, a lot of them learned to read, but they played sports, all kinds of opportunities, basketball, baseball, boxing. This camp was no different. They were known as the Maroon Devils. I think it was because of the color of their uniform. The Maroon Devils. So yeah, they provide all kinds of things for these young men to do. Alright, let's head down to the dam. My battery's still lasting on this camera. Alright. I should have charged it up overnight, but I thought the other one I had was already charged up, and it wasn't. I should have double checked, but that's life. Yeah, so up here's the dam. Yeah, there's, well, still not much water in here. Looks that way it was when I was here last time too. Just a nature board. Thought there might be more CCC info here, but talks more about animals. Mid-State Trail runs right through this park. Actually, there is a, I don't know if I have a state park map for Penn Roosevelt. Let me grab one quick. Yeah, and here's our map. Yeah, so the chimney we were at first is the recreation hall. I think the one where the pavilion is the forestry quarters. And I did walk up here, so I think, yeah, the barracks are more out in that open space, kind of. You see the bake oven over there. The mess hall was right next to it. Cool, so we'll look for some more of these foundations. Yeah, I think there were... Yeah, so by the recreation hall, I think there used to be another chimney there, because there's the blacksmith shop forestry office. Anyway. Cool. Let's head down to the dam and the spillway. Yeah, you can definitely see the CCC work. Yeah, look at this. This is beautiful. It runs down all the way down there. You see their stonework here and up there. But I thought I saw something down here. Yeah, there is more stonework. Down that way. It's like, I bet, kind of wondering if there was this, yeah, I think there was a continuation of this channel. I see some concrete right in there. This part might got washed out, but it continues down that way to the channel, stone line channel of water. Let's just go walk up there, since we're down here. Yeah, because there is all kinds of because there's a section right there. All kinds of rubble here. Probably from flooding. Yeah, because you even see up there, falling apart a little bit. Maybe this should be rebuilt, you know? I mean, the parts that's here leave it, but some of these sections could use some fixing up. Restoration. Oh yeah, it comes, all the stone channels come down even here too. Yeah, look at that. Easy spot to make our way across. That's where we just came down in stone. Goes up this way too. If you know me, I just love all the stonework. Because even at the campfire, either last night or this morning, we're talking about, you know, how bridges today just don't last. But you have, you know, railroad bridges from like, you know, 200 years ago or 100 years ago that are still standing strong because they're built with stone like this. Looks like some leakage maybe. Looks like some repairs were done here, because that looks a little bit different. But yeah, there's water. I'm not sure if water's supposed to be coming out right here. Looks like it used to be like spilling out this way, but not necessarily coming out underneath. Oh yeah, look, because they have like a little stone line, what would be like a little pool right here. Yeah. All right, let's go find that bake oven again. Yeah, so once again, that first chimney we visited was the rec hall. And there was one here, almost like the pad for it is right there. There was another chimney down this way, which was the blacksmith shop, forestry office. I kind of vaguely remember it being here when I was here. I keep saying that, but I'm just trying to remember the past. Alright, but let's head up that way up to the bake oven. Maybe we'll see some foundations of the mess hall too. But even down here, there's a little. Oh, see, there's another path going up this way. That's definitely CCC. I was going to point out the stonework on the side, but this is an old CCC path going up through here. Check this out. With the stonework on either side, lined with stone. And up here's that channel of water. There was no water in it now. They pointed out earlier when I was up there. As it comes down, and you see it is lined with stone too. It goes all the way down. All these little touches that point to the CCC. Yeah, I was right. Up there is that open field. That's where some of the barracks were. Back to the bake oven trail. That's the mid-stage trail. I think that takes you kind of to the bake oven too, but we'll go this way because there are some foundations down here. Because down here is where the mess hall would have been, which is probably what some of those foundations up there are. Yeah, bake oven. The bake oven is right up there. There's some steps going up there. We'll go up there in a minute. Oh, I can see the chimney stack for it up there, but let's just quick check out this. This is probably remnants of the mess hall. See some stone here, and that foundation up there. Which makes sense, it's right down below the bake oven. Yeah. What exactly, like I said, probably for the mess hall, but what exact part of it, I'm not sure. But yeah, there you go. So let's head up to the bake oven itself, the highlight, a lot of ways of this camp. The old steps going up yet. Yeah, and here it is. Now it's an outdoor bake oven. That's just cool. So yeah, we were talking about this last night too, exactly how this worked, but there are probably several doors here to load firewood or ashes in there. There was probably a metal top or a grill on top of here. And here's the chimney, which would create the draft, take the air up and actually pull air in, you know, because you need air to feed that fire. There's an interesting little indentation right here. That's pretty deep. Hold on a second. Clear that out. Huh. Not sure what that's for. That's pretty deep though. Well, deeper than I thought it would be. There's some pipe here. And there's an opening in the back too. So yeah, you know, did they cook on top? Maybe they cooked on top. Maybe the ashes of the fire down here, and they had another. Who knows? Because maybe that's the door to the oven where maybe they cooked bread in here and stuff. I don't know. Maybe they could cook. Maybe that a number of different things going on here. Oh, look at the bricks even have. What does it say? Resky or something like that. They have the names on them. But yeah, cool. Yeah, so if you were the camp cook, you spent many a day, many an hour up here cooking. Probably pretty hot, smoky work. Although it probably smelled good up here too. Yeah, I don't know if any other CCC camp has this relic left over. A lot of them probably collapsed. They're just piles of rubble now. But I'm glad this one is still here. Because this part here is deeper than up there. So I'm just thinking there are like different aspects to this. Like maybe this was the oven part. You know, like there was, because you can see like there's little, almost like a little shelf on the side where a grate or even like a, you know, flat metal surface could be here to heat it. You know, like an oven to put, you know, the bread on top. Who knows? Maybe back there was more fire to grill things on top. I don't know. But yeah. This down here is probably for airflow. You can see how they made it with stone and like layers of concrete and stone. But spots like this are what make doing these videos worth it. It's always fun to explore the CCC camps, but just to come across relics like this that tell a story. You know, this is where the men had their food. You know, this is where the men had their food cooked and stuff like that. You know, these probably were at other camps, but like they long ago collapsed or things like that. But this one's here, and there's even a trail to it, so that makes it really awesome to come and visit it. Yeah, but farewell, beautiful old bake oven. I think it's my second time visiting it. But yeah. Yeah, but like I said, that old bake oven is kind of the highlight of, to me, the highlight of this park and the highlight of the history here. Although the stone chimneys are cool. That dam's actually really pretty too, but I love the old bake oven just because I think it's just kind of unique. I've never seen it at any other CCC camp. I know on the old farm I grew up on, not until later did I learn there was an old bake oven had been in part of the backyard, and I had started digging it up a little bit, the foundation, because there's always a spot in the backyard where I was mowing. It was like rocky underneath. I always wondered what was going on. I dug it out a little bit. It was like I don't know, it was interesting. But anyway, never got to fully explore it before I had to move. So yeah, beautiful little park out here in the remoteness of Rothrock State Forest. But I think that'll be it for this video, folks. I think I'm the only one left here at camp until later today. But yeah, beautiful spot to visit, beautiful camp. As always, thanks for coming along. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you on the next one.